Hey everyone, this is Mason Egger from the Developer Relations team, and here is my deploy horror story. So this story would have happened in my first job right when I had graduated college. I worked for a small cybersecurity company that built a suite of security products, and my team was in charge of building the operating system and the control panel that went on underneath it. All of this was written in Python, very much a text-based, CLI-based environment, and my original job was the person who would write all of the text-based menu and commands, so that way whenever you went through the installation process, I was the one that basically presented you that TUI. So, right before our first release, my boss came to me and said, hey, we need to change the flow of this really quick. We're adding this one feature. Can you go in and change it really quick? And I was like, of course, it's relatively simple. I know this code like the back of my hand. I just spent the last couple of months working on it. Should be no problem. So I go ahead and I change all of this code really quickly, which was the first mistake because never change code quickly. It tends to lead to mistakes. And then because the change was so minor and so small, we in our infinite wisdom decided that it didn't necessarily need to go through the full regression test. So we went ahead and shipped it. And this was kind of a big deal for this company because as an operating system provider, we don't ship like microservices, things like that. We ship an ISO. We actually build a full complete version of Linux and this platform, and then we ship it, and then we upload it and people download it and use it. Well, one of the things that ended up happening was a few days later, we started getting reports of if you made it far enough through the UI and then you decided that you didn't want to follow that path anymore and you tried to go back and like change something, the entire installation process would crash, which was a pretty big deal, seeing as how this installation process took roughly 30 to 40 minutes to even get that far into the UI, not because there was a lot of typing, but because it did a lot of setup commands in between the steps. So we go ahead and look in, and sure enough, I had made a very simple logic error that simply broke. Whenever you decided that you wanted to go back, it simply broke the system, and you had to we had to go ahead and we had to run a really quick, simple change. We did decide this time, however, to run it through a full regression test, and once it passed everything, we shipped it out, and nobody was the wiser except for those handful of customers. But seeing as that was my first job out of college, it was definitely nerve-wracking, and I definitely learned a lot about always test your code, no matter how small the bug fix may seem or how small the feature is. There's always going to be error, especially when you're doing things in haste, and just always test your code. I hope you enjoyed this, and thank you very much.